Those eyes. Those damn blue eyes. They're the first thing I notice. Not the glow of the Christmas lights in the shops around. Nope. It's those eyes. Blue like the sharpest, coldest winter sky. Sharp enough to make everything else, the snow, the whole magical scene, fade into the background. And for a second, I'm just stuck, standing there like an idiot, caught staring at a stranger's eyes. Then I notice he's swaying. He's stumbling out of wonderful gifts, his brown hair doing its own wild thing, and his sharp features are scrunched in the way people's faces get when they're a little too merry. He's definitely drunk, but it's too late. My brain's already filed him under unfairly pretty human. He's wobbling on the curb, and I'm already stepping aside. Nope, not today, drunk sir. I've dodged enough bar drunks to know better, but fate's got other plans. His feet get tangled like a baby deer's, and before I can blink, he's falling. Straight for me. No. I try to dodge left. He dodges left. I go right. He goes right. Next thing I know, we're colliding like two bad ideas on New Year's Eve. We hit the ground hard. I'm flat on my back. He's half on top of me. Coats, limbs, everything's a mess. And then, flicker, flicker, pop. All the lights in the square light up at once. I'm talking all of them. Every string, every bulb in the square. Brighter than they've been all night. There's a gasp from the crowd. Some kids yell, "It's a Christmas miracle!" And I'm lying there, squinting up at the glow like, what just happened? "Hey, you okay?" I ask, pushing up on my elbows to check on him. Big mistake. "Me? You're in my way," he slurs, eyes all squinty like I'm the one who crashed into him. His voice is sharp but wobbly, like he's mad but forgot why halfway through. "Dude, you're the one who came at me like a runaway sleigh," I said, brushing snow off my coat. "I was just standing here, minding my business." "Minding your..." he huffs, trying to push up, fails, and faceplants into the snow. "Pfft, you know what? This..." he waves his hand around in a circle. "All of this, not my problem." I'm trying so hard not to laugh. I really am. But he's just lying there, face down in the snow, grumbling like a cat that's been kicked off a couch. I hold out a hand. "Come on, Frosty, let's get you up before you melt," I say, grinning. He peeks up at me, eyes squinting hard like he's trying to figure out if I'm worth it. Face flushed from the cold, or maybe the wine. But those unfairly pretty eyes are locked on mine. "Humph," he mutters, grabbing my hand. "Don't call me Frosty." "All right," I say, pulling him up. "How about Grumpy, then? His glare could melt snow. Totally worth it." The next morning, Liam's POV. Ugh, my head. My entire head. It's like a marching band did an encore inside my skull, and every drum hit was personal. I groan, face buried in something soft and warm. Blanket. Big, heavy, warm blanket. It's nice, honestly. Too nice. This isn't my blanket. I crack one eye open. Everything's blurry. Squinting helps. Couch. Big couch. Not mine. This is not my couch. Panic sharpens me up quickly. I push myself to sit, my head throbbing like it's pissed at me. My heart's racing. I'm in someone's living room. Dim light filters in through closed curtains. There's a shelf with books and plants. Everything's clean, cozy, like a place from one of those simple living blogs. Where the hell am I? I'm fully upright now, and that's when I see him. The bed's in the corner, and there's a guy sleeping in it. A guy with jet black hair and soft, messy curls spilling all over his face. He's on his side, blankets pulled up to his shoulders, his face all relaxed like he's dreaming of perfect things. Peaceful. So peaceful it's almost unfair. Nobody should be that beautiful and that calm. My brain's firing questions rapid fire. Who is that? Why am I here? Did we... No. If we... I glance at the couch and I just crawled off of. Yeah, no, if he'd slept with me, I'd still be in that bed, not the couch, right? I'm not sure if I'm relieved or offended. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I scramble for it, wincing at the noise. Bright. Too bright. Yeah, I'm up, I mutter, blinking at the screen. Mrs. Park. Oh no. I swipe it open. Hello? Liam, where are you? Her voice is sharp, like scissors cutting fabric. Shift started 15 minutes ago. You're late. I glance around, heart pounding faster. I'm on my way. I hang up before she can reply. Shit. I'm on my feet, fighting the spin of dizziness. Where's my coat? My shoes? I spot them by the door. I'm halfway to grabbing them when I pause, glancing back at the guy. He's still out cold, not a care in the world. No way am I waking him up for an awkward, hey, thanks for whatever this was, conversation. I'll text him. Or maybe I won't. I'm out the door. I'm not running, I'm speed walking. Big difference. It's freezing, my breath fogging up in puffs as I weave through crowds. People dressed in their big winter coats, scarves pulled up to their eyes. I'm in last night's hoodie and jeans, looking exactly like a man with a hangover and regrets. Fitting. When I reach Wonderland Gifts, I'm already yanking the elf costume off the hook. Bright green, red, and jingling with tiny bells. Humiliating. But it's a paycheck. I'm halfway into it when Mrs. Park rounds the corner, arms crossed, eyes colder than outside. Nice of you to show up, she says, tapping her watch. I'm here, aren't I mutter, jamming the hat on. Ready to spread holiday cheer or whatever. Her eyebrow lifts. Cheer, huh? That'd be a first. It's a joke, but it stings more than it should. Out front, I barely take my spot before a mom and sticky-faced kid approach. Do you have the Christmas train set with the lights? She asks, way too cheerful. Yeah, it's with the unicorns and flying reindeer, I deadpan. Her smile fades. Kidding, aisle 3. Mrs. Park watches me from across the store. Not angry, just tired. The kind of tired that wonders, what happened to you? I tug my itchy collar as the bell jingles again. Showtime? Welcome to Wonderland Gifts, I say, grinning through it, where dreams are overpriced and elves work for minimum wage. Later that evening. Another shift done. Finally. I yanked off the scratchy elf hat and shoved it into my coat pocket. Stupid thing. Stupid job. Stupid Christmas. The cold air hit me the second I stepped outside, sharp and icy against my face. My boots crunched over the snow-dusted sidewalk as I headed down the street, eyes locked on the ground. Just get home. Just get home. Wine's waiting. Peace and quiet's waiting. No screaming kids or glitter explosions. Then BAM! I'm jolted back, stumbling a step, and so is the person I've just collided with. For a second I'm ready to snap, but when I look up, it's him. Tall, black hair, brown eyes with that annoyingly warm glow like he's starring in a holiday movie. A puffy navy jacket and red scarf wrapped so perfectly, it's offensive. Of course, it's him. Are you following me? I blurt, glaring at him while brushing snow off my coat. He raises his hands like I've caught him red-handed, a grin already stretching across his face. Busted, he says, eyes crinkling at the corners. I've been tracking you all day, elf man. It's part of my grand holiday heist. I snort before I can stop myself. Elf man? Cute. Yeah, well, mission failed. No cash, no candy canes, and definitely no cheer here, buddy. I brush past him, muttering, go stalk somewhere else. Can't, he calls after me. You're the only grumpy elf in town. I roll my eyes so hard I'm surprised they don't freeze in place. I'm already halfway down the street, but I hear his laugh. Soft, but loud enough to follow me. It's a nice sound. Warm. Like cinnamon rolls straight out of the oven. I keep walking. Don't look back, Liam. Do not look back. I might have glanced back. A few minutes later, Noah's POV. Of course I wasn't stalking him. Total coincidence. Pure chance. Fate, maybe? Nah, I'm not that dramatic. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little happy about running into him again. Tall, lean, and somehow managing to look both done with the world and completely adorable at the same time. The floppy elf hat sticking out of his coat pocket was just the cherry on top. When we bumped into each other, the way he looked up at me, eyes all sharp like I'd personally ruined his whole day, I couldn't help it. I grinned. Could have sworn I saw his lip twitch, like he was almost smiled back before he caught himself. Are you following me? He had asked me all grumpy and suspicious. What could I have done except lean into it? Busted, I said, throwing my hands up like I'd been caught in the act. His eye roll was priceless. He stomped off, grumbling about no cash, no candy canes, no cheer. All dramatic and tense, goofy, and hella cute. So I followed him, just for a bit. Not in a weird way. Hey, wait up, I called, jogging a few steps to catch him. Name's Noah, by the way. Since I'm apparently your stalker, figured you should know. He glanced at me, still walking. Liam. Nice to meet you, Liam. I flashed him a grin, matching his pace. So you're always this friendly, or is this a special holiday vibe thing? Pretty sure it's just you bringing it out, he shot back, eyes forward, but I saw the corner of his mouth twitch. Well, I'm honored, I said with a laugh. Guess I'll have to come find you again. He didn't answer, but he didn't tell me to get lost either. I'll call that a win. 1 week later, Liam's POV. Noah's at it again. He's been singing that same Christmas song for the past 15 minutes, and it's like the universe is punishing me personally. His voice isn't bad, but it's definitely not good either. It's loud, off-key, and shameless. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. He belts out, his hands flailing dramatically like he's performing on stage. I pinch the bridge of my nose, half for show, half because I actually feel a headache coming on. For the love of everything holy, please stop singing it in that god-awful tone. Noah gasps, clutching his chest like I just shot him. Ouch, that hurt, grumpy elf. If you think you can do better, be my guest, he grins, all teeth and mischief. I roll my eyes, but I don't know what comes over me. I'm not sure if it's the challenge in his voice or if I'm just tired of hearing it butchered, but I huff. Not that I need to prove anything. Then I start singing. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. I don't even think about it, I just sing. And for a moment, it's like the world gets a little quieter. When I glance at Noah, he's staring at me like I just turned water into wine. Holy, he breathes, eyes wide with awe. I would have never guessed that this grumpy elf had a voice like that. You should be a singer or something. Heat creeps up my neck, and suddenly I feel all exposed. I duck my head, shoving my hands into my coat pockets. Yeah, well, I used to be. His face shifts, curious now. Used to be? I shrug, my feet picking up pace. Not anymore. Why not? He presses, walking faster to match my steps. I stop dead in my tracks, turning to him with a look I hope says drop it. Just, can we not do this right now? My voice comes out quieter than I meant it to. He opens his mouth to push, but for once, he doesn't. We walk in silence after that, but I know he's thinking about it. So am I. A few days later, Noah's POV. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's persistence. So yeah, I've been stopping by Wonderland Gifts more than necessary. Do I need a new snow globe every other day? Absolutely not. But do I need to see the grumpy elf behind the counter trying and failing to hide a smile every time I'm here? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Back again, huh? Liam's eyes barely flicker up from his task of restocking mini Santa figurines. His tone's flat, but I've learned to listen for the subtle hints of amusement under the deadpan delivery. What can I say? Your charm's irresistible, I shoot back, leaning casually against the counter. Also, I'm starting a world-class snow globe collection. You're basically my supplier now. He snorts, a real one, but covers it up with a cough. You're single-handedly keeping our novelty shelf in business. Happy to do my part for the economy. I grin at him, and I'm pretty sure his lip quirks just a little. He's getting used to me, I can tell. He doesn't bristle as much when I show up, and sometimes, he'll toss a sarcastic comment my way without me having to earn it. Progress. I grab a reindeer mug I absolutely do not need and plop it on the counter. Ring me up, elf man. He's already scanning it, shaking his head like he's tired of me. But I've seen him actually look tired before. This ain't it. 2 days later. Liam's POV. I'm starting to recognize his footsteps. Noah's got this way of walking, like every step's part of some upbeat song only he can hear. It's stupid. But I'll catch it before I see him, and yeah, maybe I'll stand a little straighter. I'll pretend it's just me fixing my posture, but I'm not fooling myself. Guess who? He says one day, leaning over the counter with that stupid grin that's too big for his face. Oh joy, it's my favorite customer, I reply, not looking up from the shelf I'm stocking. Knew it. You'd miss me if I stopped showing up. He's teasing, but I'm not as quick to shut it down as I used to be. Miss is a strong word, I say, glancing his way. He's holding a snow globe like it's a priceless artifact. Didn't you already buy that one? Nah, this one's special. It's got a penguin wearing a scarf. Can't leave that behind. He's so ridiculous, it's hard not to laugh. I managed to hold it in, but barely. The thing is, I've caught myself looking forward to his visits. The store's always too quiet, the hours dragging on like they're stuck in molasses. But when Noah's here, it's different. Lighter. I'll never admit it out loud, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't glance at the door around the time he usually shows up. But he'll never hear that from me. 1 week later. Noah's leaning on the counter, grinning like he's got nothing better to do than annoy me. How's life in your tiny elf kingdom, your grumpiness? He teases, shaking a snow globe like it's a royal decree. I snort. Real original, Shakespeare. But then he shifts gears without warning. You ever think about singing again? He asks, so casually it feels like a sucker punch. My hand's still on the shelf, fingers curled around a Santa figurine. I blink once, twice, forcing my face to stay blank. Nope, I say, short and sharp, like closing a door in his face. Dreams are overrated anyway. Says the guy still humming while stocking shelves, he fires back, voice light but his eyes too serious. I hate that he noticed. Didn't know you were keeping track, I mutter, focusing way too hard on the Santa in my hands. Yeah, well, I'm nosy like that, he says, quieter now. You're allowed to miss things, Liam. Doesn't mean you're weak. That hits something in me. Something old and raw. My chest tightens. Suddenly I'm 12 again. My mom telling me to man up at the kitchen table. I clench my jaw and grab another Santa. I'm fine, I mutter, trying to end it. It's not a big deal. It is to you, Noah says softly. That's it. I'm done. I drop the Santa, grab my coat from the back room, punch out 5 minutes early, and head for the door. But before I can disappear into the swirl of snow outside, I hear him. Liam, wait! I keep walking. I want to keep walking. But then his hand catches my arm, gentle but firm. Don't do that. Don't just leave like that. My eyes dart everywhere but at him. I'm fine, Noah. Just let it go. No, you're not, he says, his voice steady and sure in a way that makes my chest ache. And that's okay. I should walk away. I always walk away. But I don't. Not this time. I breathe in, shaky and sharp, like I'm about to break apart. Finally I look at him, eyes glassy, throat tight. It's okay, he says, softer now. You're okay. He opens his arms. I almost laugh because, really? But I'm tired. So tired. I step forward, resting my head against his shoulder, and everything I've been holding in just crumbles. He wraps his arm around me, solid and warm. We stay like that, still and quiet as snow falls behind the window, and for once, I let him stay. 1 week later. It's funny how you don't notice something's changed until you're right in the middle of it. 1 minute I'm giving Noah my usual snark, and the next, I'm realizing I'm actually waiting for him to show up. Depending on him, even. So, yeah, I'm a little drunk tonight. Just tipsy enough for my thoughts to spill out without a filter. I don't know anything about you, I mumble, leaning against him as we walk. My voice is lazy, words slurring just a bit. You're all up in my business, but I don't know a thing about you. Noah's grin is soft but bright, like he's been waiting for this moment. You never asked, he says with a little nudge to my shoulder. Haven't kissed you either, I blurt, too loose to feel embarrassed. My face goes warm anyway. What's up with that? He chuckles a low, warm sound that buzzes right through me. Come on, lightweight, he says, tugging me toward his place. I'll give you a proper introduction. We're inside his apartment before I processed it. He's showing me pictures on his wall. His parents still living in the UK. They're smiling in every shot. A family that's together in every sense of the word. He's telling me little stories about them, growing up by the sea, but I'm too focused on how calm it all feels. Like I'm breathing easy for the first time in forever. His room's simple but cozy. Clean sheets, warm lighting. He sits on the bed, and I'm still standing there, feeling stupid and small. But he just pats the spot next to him like it's the most natural thing in the world. I sit. We're close. I'm half expecting him to kiss me. Kinda hoping for it, honestly. But instead, he pulls me in, arms around me like I'm something fragile and precious. He's holding me. Just holding me. Not like he's waiting for something. Not like I'm an obligation. He's just here. And for the first time in so long, I'm not fighting to hold myself together. My breath hitches. My chest starts to shake. I'm crying before I even realize it. Quiet, steady tears that feel like they've been hiding under my skin for years. My mom used to hold me like this, I whisper, voice cracking. When I was a kid, she'd just sit with me like this when I'd have a bad dream. I'm shaking my head before I've even finished talking. She'd still be like that now if I wasn't me. If you weren't you? Noah's voice is soft, careful. If I wasn't gay, I choke out. My throat's tight, breath too shallow. It didn't matter that I'm her kid. I'm just wrong to them. I'm spiraling, heart pounding. Everything I've shoved down for years clawing its way up. Not that it matters. I'll be dead soon anyway. Kidneys are shot. Nobody's lining up to fix it. I'm breathing too fast now. Regret twisting up inside of me. Why am I saying all this? Why am I... Hey. Noah's voice is steady. His hold tighter, but still gentle. Breathe, Liam. Just breathe. You're okay. I'm here. His words don't scare me. They should. People get weird when they learn about the disease. They treat me differently. Like I'm already gone. But Noah's grit doesn't change. He doesn't flinch or hesitate. He's just here. Fully, completely here. And I'm not alone. 2 days later. I'm such an idiot. I should have known better. Should have known. It's not like I'm new to this game. People come, people go. They show up all shiny and bright, acting like they're different, like they're here to stay. And every time, I'm dumb enough to believe it. Noah was supposed to be different. He wasn't just some random guy. We talked. We talked. Really talked. And then that night, it wasn't an ordinary night. We slept together. Not sex. That's easy. Actually slept, curled up together, his arms slung over my chest like it belonged there. I've never had that. Not once. Not like that. That's the part that's messing with me. The way it felt like more. It's easy to brush off a hookup. Easy to chalk it up to nothing. But this? This wasn't nothing. It's why it hurts more than it should. I've been checking my phone like an idiot, waiting for a text, a call, something. But it's just silence. He's gone. Just like the rest of them. And I'm the fool, again, thinking this time would be different. I'm so stupid. Should have never let him in. Should have never trusted him. But I did. And now I'm left with this ache in my chest. This stupid, gnawing feeling that I'll never be good enough for anyone to stay. An hour later, Noah's POV. Walking into the shop, I'm bracing for it. I know Liam's mad. I'd be too. I was MIA for 2 days and didn't text. Stupid move, I'll admit it. He's at the counter, not even looking up when the bell over the door chimes. Just keeps stacking ornaments like it's the only thing keeping the world together. No snarky comment, no side-eye glance, nothing. Hey, I said, stepping closer. No response. Look, I'm sorry. I try again, leaning on the counter, eyes on him. I didn't mean to disappear on you. Didn't notice you were gone, he says flatly, still focused on the ornaments. I've known him long enough to know that's a lie. I've also known him long enough to know he's not gonna make this easy. Fine. I'm not here to win points. I'm here for him. So I moved around the counter and stepped in front of him. He's still trying to avoid my eyes, but I'm done playing this game. I grab his arms, gently but firmly, and pull him forward until our chests are pressed together. He's tense, but he doesn't pull away. Did you think I abandoned you? I ask, low and serious. For a second, he's still. Then his eyes flicker up to mine, and I see it. That one tear he's too stubborn to let fall. It's all the answer I need. Silly, I say, wrapping my arms around him, holding him as tight as I can without breaking him. I didn't. I never would. Where would I even go, huh? Away from my grumpy elf? Not a chance. He lets out a wet, shaky laugh, pressing his face into my shoulder. His hands grip my back like he's afraid I'll disappear again. Then where were you? He mumbles, voice small and cracking like he's still holding it together by a thread. I pull back just enough to see his face, brushing his hair away from his eyes. I went to get checked, Liam. My kidney. I'm healthy. I pause, watching his reaction carefully. You don't have to worry about it anymore. I've got you. But he doesn't smile. He doesn't light up like I thought he would. Instead, he's just frozen. His eyes wide, his whole body stiff like he's stuck between running and breaking apart. Liam, I say, leaning down to catch his eyes. Hey, it's okay. It's good news. This is good. His breath shudders, his eyes glassy. Totally not what I expected. The next day, Liam's POV. I'm the one dodging him now. It's pathetic, I know. I'm not proud of it, but every time I think about him, about what he's offering me, this knot twists tighter in my chest. He's already done too much, more than anyone ever has. And now he's trying to give me this? A way out of everything? No, it's too much. I'm sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, pretending I'm not looking at something important. My eyes aren't even focused on the screen. Then it happens. The knock. Not the soft, polite knock, but the steady, familiar rhythm I'd know anywhere. Noah. I'm frozen for a second. Maybe if I'm quiet, he'll think I'm not home. Liam, he calls from the other side of the door, voice clear but gentle. I know you're in there. I'm not going anywhere. Of course he's not. With a heavy breath, I stand, dragging my feet to the door. When I open it, there he is. Tired eyes, jacket still dusted with snow, hands shoved in his pockets like he's trying not to grab me and shake sense into me. Hey, he says softly. Hey, I mutter, eyes flicking to the floor. You didn't have to come. Yeah, I did, he says, stepping inside and closing the door behind him. You've been running, and I'm done letting you run. I open my mouth to argue, but he's faster. Don't even start, he says, eyes locked on mine. What's the point of life if I don't have you to share it with? That's it. Right there. The crack in my armor. My throat tightens, eyes stinging as I stare at him like he's something I'm afraid to believe in. You're stupid, I choke out, wiping at my eyes. You're so stupid. Yeah, well, he says, grinning, I'm your stupid. And before I can think too hard, he's pulling me in, pressing his lips to mine, warm and soft and everything I've been too scared to ask for. We're a mess of limbs and shaky breaths, and when we finally pull back, his forehead rests on mine. I love you, he says quietly. I love you too, I whisper, my hands fisting the back of his jacket like I'm afraid he'll disappear. But he's not going anywhere. He's here. He's mine. Christmas. I'm not sure when it happened, but suddenly it's not just me against the world anymore. It's me and Noah. We're standing in my tiny apartment, stringing lights around a Christmas tree that's about 2 feet too big for the space. The whole thing's lopsided because I'm terrible at this, but Noah's just laughing like it's the best thing he's ever seen. His smile's too wide, his cheeks flushed from the cold outside, and I'm trying really hard not to stare. You're supposed to wrap it around, not just throw it on there like spaghetti, I said, tossing another strand of lights at him. Yeah, well, I'm not a professional Christmas elf like you, he shot back, grinning. The radio's playing some old Christmas classic, and before I realize it, I'm humming along. Next thing I know, Noah's singing, loud, off-key, and ridiculous. It's awful. I'm laughing so hard, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna choke on air. You're so bad, I managed to say through the laughter. You're just jealous of my raw talent, he says, pulling me into an over the top twirl like we're dancing at a ball instead of standing next to a tree that's half falling over. For a moment, it's perfect. No worries, no sickness, just him and me, tangled in lights and bad singing, dreaming about everything we'll do together. A future that suddenly feels like it's within reach. Later that day, Noah's POV. Liam's never looked happier. His eyes are bright, his smile's real, and for once he's not hiding behind sarcasm or that tough shell he wears like armor. He's just here with me, laughing, teasing, and grumbling about how I'm doing it all wrong as we try to untangle these stubborn Christmas lights. I'd freeze this moment if I could. Just us, a half decorated tree, and the glow of warm lights painting his face gold. For a second, I'm sure this is it. This is home. But then it happens. It's small at first. The little hitch in his breath, the shift in his face. My chest goes tight with it, like I'm bracing for impact. Liam? I'm up in an instant, reaching for him, my heart already racing. Yeah? He says, but it's wrong. His voice wavers, his whole body looks off, and then he's falling, not far, just onto the couch, but it's enough to send me into full panic mode. Hey, stay with me! I'm saying, but I'm not even sure if I'm making sense. My hands are on him, grounding me. Just breathe, okay? We're okay. We're okay. His head tilts forward, leaning on my shoulder, and he's breathing hard, short little gasps that scare the hell out of me. My fingers rub slow circles on his back like I've seen him do for me before. I'm calling someone, I tell him, reaching for my phone. No arguments. He's too out of it to argue, and that's what scares me most. The ambulance comes fast, but not fast enough. They're asking me questions, his name, his condition, if he's taken any meds, and I'm answering, but all I'm thinking is, stay, stay, stay. I ride with him to the hospital, my hands still on his. I'm not letting go. Not now. Not ever. The next day. Liam's POV. The room smells like antiseptic and something too clean to feel real. The beeping of the heart monitor is steady, but it's annoying. I'd tell it to shut up if I thought it'd listen. My kidneys have finally given up. They can't hold on for longer if I don't get a transplant. I knew this day would come. Noah's here, sitting right next to me like he's got nowhere else to be. His hands on mine, his thumb brushing back and forth like it's the only thing keeping him grounded. Don't worry, he says, leaning forward so our faces are close. His eyes are so warm, and for a second, I believe him. We'll get our cross-match results tomorrow, and then you'll get the surgery. After that, all of this, he gestures around the room, will be behind you. Forever. And then you can sing again. You can do whatever you want. I'm quiet for a second, letting that word hang in the air. Forever. I'd forgotten what that sounded like when it wasn't a countdown. You make it sound easy, I say, smirking, but it's weak. It's not easy, he admits, squeezing my hand tighter, but it's happening. One more night and it's over. You'll see. He's so sure of it, and I'm so tired. I nod, resting my head back against the pillow. His hand stays on mine. I'm asleep before I even know it. The next day. I knew before he even said a word. Noah's at the foot of my bed, hands shoved in his pockets, his jaw tight. He's usually so bad at hiding his feelings, but today he's doing everything he can to keep it together. He doesn't need to say it. I see it written all over him. No match. I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. My heart's heavy, but weirdly, I'm not mad at him. Not at him. Never at him. Hey, I say, smiling as much as I can manage. My voice sounds rough, but I'm not about to break down. Not now. Come here. He's there in an instant, sitting on the edge of my bed. I reach up, touch his cheek, and feel him lean into it. His eyes close for a second like he's trying to hold on to this moment. Thanks for everything, Noah. I tell him. And I mean it. I'm glad I got to know you. Even if it's only for this part of my life. My chest tightens as I say it, but I push through. You've made it better, just so you know. He's shaking his head, eyes already glassy, his breath coming out too fast. Don't say it! Don't. It's okay, I say softly, running my thumb along his cheekbone. It's okay. Later that evening, Noah's POV. I've done some scary things in my life. Moving to a new country, starting over from scratch, telling Liam I loved him. But this might top them all. I'm standing outside a plain white door, hands shoved in my coat pockets to stop them from shaking. It's colder than I expected. Or maybe it's just my nerves. Either way, I'm frozen in place, staring at the number on the door like it's about to grow teeth and bite me. Come on, Noah. You're doing this for him. I knock. 3 sharp raps that echo louder than I'd like. For a moment, there's nothing but silence, and I'm tempted to turn around and leave. But then the door opens, and I'm face to face with a woman who looks just like Liam. The same sharp blue eyes and the same guarded expression. Hi, I'm Noah, I say, my voice a little too fast. I'm Liam's. I pause, realizing titles don't really matter. I'm someone who loves him. Her eyes narrow, but she doesn't shut the door. Progress. Look, I know this is sudden, but I'm here because he's sick. Really sick. And he's too stubborn to ask for help, but I'm not. I'm rambling, but I'm too far in to stop. He's got end-stage kidney disease, and he's running out of time. He's pretending like it's fine, but it's not. And I'm doing everything I can, but My breath hitches. I'm not a match. I got tested, and I'm not a match. Her face softens just a bit, enough to make me push forward. I know things between you and him aren't great. He's told me. But he's your son, and he needs you. Please, just get tested. That's all I'm asking. The silence stretches out longer than I'd like, long enough for doubt to creep in. But then she sighs, deep and slow. Her eyes flick away for a moment before settling back on me, warmer this time. Come in, she says, stepping aside. I'm not sure if it's relief or exhaustion that makes me weak in the knees, but I'll take it. I step inside, letting the warmth of the house thaw the cold from my fingers. It's not a promise, but it's something. And for Liam, I'll take something over nothing every time. A week later, Liam's POV. I wake up slowly, my mind still foggy and my body heavy like I'm weighed down by sandbags. Everything feels hazy, like I'm drifting between sleep and wakefulness. My chest aches in a dull, far away kind of way, and for a second I'm not sure where I am. Then it hits me. The hospital. The surgery. The overwhelming hopelessness I felt before I blacked out. Panic flickers in my chest, and I'm ready to spiral when I feel something warm and steady next to me. I turn my head, and there he is, Noah, sitting by my bed, his head propped up on his hand, eyes half-lidded, but watching me like I'm the only thing in the world that matters. You're here, I rasp out, my voice rough and raw. Relief washes over me so hard it's like a tidal wave. My eyes sting, but I'm too tired to wipe them. I'm just so glad he's here. He stayed. He always stays. His face softens, a smile breaking across it like sun through clouds. I'm here, he says, leaning forward and brushing his knuckles gently against my cheek. But there's someone else you need to thank. Confused, I blinked at him, and then I hear it. The shuffle of footsteps. I glance toward the door and freeze. My heart stops, my breathing catching hard in my chest. It's them. My family. My mom's eyes are already red, tears spilling freely down her face. My dad's hand is on her back, guiding her forward, and my younger sister stands just behind them, looking as if she's holding her breath. I'm not sure how to feel. It's like every emotion hits me at once. Shock, fear, anger, disbelief, and something warmer, something softer, trying to push through all that noise. I don't know which one to hold on to. My mom's at my side before I can think too hard about it. Her hands hover for a second, like she's afraid I'll disappear if she touches me. Then she's hugging me, her arms around me tight and unshakable like she's never letting go again. I'm so sorry, Liam, she sobs against my shoulder. Her voice cracks with it, and it's so raw, so real. that something in me just breaks. I've been holding it in for so long, locking it up behind bitterness and anger, but now it's all spilling out of me like water from a cracked dam. Tears fall before I even realize it, and I'm crying like I'm a kid again. Ugly, messy sobs I can't stop even if I wanted to. I'm so sorry for everything, she says again, her voice muffled but clear. We're here now. We're here, and we're not going anywhere. Never again. My dad's hand settles on my shoulder, and I glance up at him, stunned to see tears shining in his eyes. He's not a man who cries, but here he is, crying anyway. We love you, son, he says quietly, like he's been rehearsing it for years and finally got the courage to say it out loud. I'm sorry it took so long for me to say it, but it's true. We're here now. I'm shaking, everything inside me trembling like an old house in a storm. But when I feel my mom's arms around me and my dad's hands steady on my shoulder, something settles in me. It's not perfect, and it's not a magic fix, but it's enough. For the first time in so long, I'm not alone. Mom, I ask, my voice small, was it you? She nods, tears streaming down her face. I'd do it again in a heartbeat, she says, her voice shaking but steady. I'm your mom, Liam. I'll always fight for you. I glance at Noah, and he's watching me with small, knowing smile. No teasing, no jokes this time. Just love. Real and solid and steady, like everything he's ever been for me. Thank you, I whisper, and I'm not even sure who I'm saying it to. Him, my mom, my dad, the universe, maybe all of them at once. Noah's smile widens, his eyes soft and full of warmth. Told you, Grumpy Elf, you're never getting rid of me. I never thought I'd be here, standing in front of everyone I love, planning a wedding with the man who fought for me when I didn't have the strength to fight for myself. The air is filled with laughter, the kind that settles in your chest and makes you feel safe. My family's here too. My family. I'd stopped believing that they'd ever be part of my life again, but here they are, smiling at me like I'm worth something. Noah's hand squeezes mine, grounding me. The music, my music, plays softly in the background. After everything, I'm still here. Still dreaming, still loved. I'm not the grumpy elf anymore. I'm just Liam. And for once, that's enough. The end. Do you believe in Christmas miracles? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome.